My journey to aging gracefully. Hello, and welcome to something truly special. Today's episode is different from what we usually do. Instead of me sharing quotes and reflections, we're going to hear directly from the real experts on aging. Gracefully seniors who are living it, breathing it, and thriving through it every single day. You see, there's something powerful about hearing someone's authentic story. Not a theory about aging. Not advice from a book. But real experiences from real people who have faced challenges, discovered joy, and found meaning in their later years. The people you're about to meet aren't celebrities. They're not famous motivational speakers. They're everyday individuals who have lived full, rich lives, and who have something profound to teach us about what it means to age. With grace, dignity, and purpose. Each story is unique, yet they all share common threads: resilience, curiosity, gratitude, and an unwillingness to let age define their possibilities. These are stories of new beginnings, of overcoming obstacles, of finding purpose, and of giving back. As someone once beautifully said, age is merely the number of years the world has been enjoying you. And the world has certainly been enjoying the wonderful people you're about to meet. So settle in, open your heart, and prepare to be inspired. These are real voices sharing real journeys. These are the stories that remind us that aging isn't about endings, it's about continuously growing, learning, and loving. Let's begin. Our first story comes from Margaret, who is 72 years young, and radiates a kind of energy that's absolutely contagious. I asked Margaret to tell me about her life after retirement, and what she shared was nothing short of transformative. Margaret's story. For 40 years, I was a nurse, Margaret begins, her voice warm and thoughtful. My entire adult life revolved around caring for others, working long shifts, being there for patients and their families. It was meaningful work I loved, but it was also all-consuming. I didn't realize how much of myself I'd set aside until I finally retired at 68. She pauses, and I can hear the smile in her voice. The first few months were actually quite disorienting. Who was I without my scrubs? Without my patients? Without that structure that had defined my days for decades? I felt a bit lost, if I'm honest. But then something wonderful happened. My daughter gave me a set of watercolor paints for my birthday, just a small beginner's set. She remembered that I used to love art class in high school, a lifetime ago. I hadn't picked up a paintbrush in over 50 years. Margaret's voice becomes animated now. I started painting. Just simple things at first: flowers from my garden, the view from my window. And something awakened in me. It wasn't just about the painting itself. It was about discovering that I could still learn, still create, still surprise myself. Now, 4 years later, I paint almost every day. I've taken classes. I've joined an art group. I've even sold a few pieces at local galleries. But more than that, I've discovered parts of myself I never knew existed. Retirement didn't end my story, it opened an entirely new chapter. Her final words carry a weight of conviction. Retirement gave me time to discover myself all over again. Aging has been an awakening, not an ending. Margaret's journey teaches us something profound. It truly is never too late to find new passions. At 72, she didn't just pick up a hobby, she uncovered a hidden part of herself that had been waiting patiently for decades. Think about what Margaret's story means. For 50 years, she lived one life, served one purpose, followed one path. And then, instead of seeing retirement as the beginning of the end, she saw it as the beginning of something new. She gave herself permission to be a beginner again, to explore, to create. How many of us have set aside dreams, interests, or curiosities because life got busy? How many talents lie dormant, waiting for us to have the courage to try something new? Margaret reminds us that those dreams don't have expiration dates. They're always there, patient, waiting for their moment. Whether you're approaching retirement or already in it, ask yourself, what would I do if I gave myself permission to begin again? What passion have I been putting off? What part of myself have I not yet met? The answer might surprise you. And it might just change everything. Our next story comes from Harold, who is 68 and whose approach to life's challenges offers a masterclass in resilience and positive thinking. Harold doesn't shy away from the difficulties he's faced. In fact, he addresses them head-on. Harold's story. Let me be honest with you, Harold starts, his voice steady and matter-of-fact. Getting older hasn't been easy. About 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with arthritis pretty severe in my knees and hands. Then came the high blood pressure, some heart issues. My body started sending me messages that I couldn't ignore anymore. For a while, I was angry. I'd always been active, played tennis, went hiking, worked with my hands. Suddenly, simple things hurt. I had to take medications. I felt like my body was betraying me. But then Harold's tone shifts. One day, my doctor said something that stuck with me. She said, "Harold, you can't control everything that happens to your body. But you can control how you respond to it." That was my wake-up call. I started walking just 20 minutes a day at first. Some days it hurt, but I kept going. I discovered yoga, which I'll admit I was skeptical about at first. But it helped with flexibility and, surprisingly, with my mental state too. I changed my diet, not drastically, but thoughtfully. I started meditating, just 5 minutes in the morning. Harold's voice carries a note of pride now. Here's what I learned: my attitude keeps me young. Not denial. I'm not pretending these health challenges don't exist. But I'm choosing to focus on what I can do, not what I can't. I'm choosing to see each day as a gift, not a burden. Last month, I walked a 5K charity race. It wasn't fast, and I had to stop a few times, but I finished. And standing there at that finish line, I felt more alive than I had in years. Because I chose not to let my circumstances define me. His final reflection is powerful. I've had my hurdles. But I choose to see each day as a new opportunity. My body might be aging, but my spirit is getting stronger. Harold's story is a testament to the incredible power of mindset. He faced real, significant health challenges, the kind that could easily have led to depression, isolation, or giving up. Instead, he made a choice, a daily choice, to focus on possibility rather than limitation. This isn't toxic positivity or pretending problems don't exist. Harold acknowledges his pain, his limitations, his struggles. But he refuses to let them write his entire story. He's found ways to adapt, to stay active within his abilities, and most importantly, to maintain hope and purpose. Research has shown time and again that our attitude about aging actually affects how we age. People who view aging positively tend to live longer, recover better from illness, and maintain higher quality of life. Harold embodies this truth. His message to all of us is clear: yes, aging comes with challenges. Your body will change. You'll face health issues. Things won't work the way they used to. But you get to decide how you respond. You get to choose whether obstacles become excuses or opportunities for adaptation and growth. What challenge are you facing right now? What if, like Harold, you shifted your focus from what you've lost to what you can still do? What if each day truly was a new opportunity, regardless of what yesterday brought? That shift in perspective might not change your circumstances, but it will absolutely change your experience of them. And sometimes, that makes all the difference. Our final story comes from Ruth, who is 75, and has discovered that one of the greatest joys of aging is the opportunity to give back and share the wisdom of a life well lived. Ruth's story. I never really understood the word legacy until I became a grandmother. Ruth begins, her voice filled with warmth. For most of my life, I was focused on the day-to-day raising my children. Supporting my husband, managing a household, working part-time. I didn't have time to think about the bigger picture. But when my first grandchild was born, something shifted in me. I realized that I had something precious to offer, not just love. Though there's plenty of that, but stories, experiences, lessons learned from decades of living. Ruth's voice becomes thoughtful. I started recording family stories, tales about my parents and grandparents. Stories about how I met my husband. Memories of my children growing up, lessons I learned the hard way. At first, I just wrote them down for myself. But then I started sharing them with my grandchildren. The most surprising thing happened. These stories became bridges between generations. My teenage grandson, who usually has his face buried in his phone, actually asked me to tell him more about what life was like when I was his age. My granddaughter wanted to know about the challenges I faced, the mistakes I made, how I handled difficult times. Ruth pauses, and you can hear the emotion in her voice. But it's not just about talking. It's about listening too. I've learned so much from my grandchildren about technology, yes. But also about their perspectives, their dreams, their worries. We learn from each other. And it's not just family. I started volunteering at a community center, helping kids with reading. These children, many from difficult backgrounds, sit with me, and we read together. Sometimes we just talk. I listen to their stories, and they listen to mine. I feel younger when I'm with them, more connected, more alive, more purposeful. Her final thought resonates deeply. Being able to pass on my stories keeps me connected and alive. I used to think getting older meant having less to offer. Now I know the opposite is true. I have more to give than ever before. Ruth's story touches on something profound. The deep human need for connection across generations and the incredible value of intergenerational wisdom sharing. In our modern world, we've somewhat lost the tradition of elders passing down wisdom, stories, and life lessons. We've become so segmented by age that we miss out on these precious exchanges. But Ruth shows us what we're missing and what becomes possible when we bridge those gaps. Think about what Ruth offers: decades of perspective, stories that connect the present to the past. Lessons learned through actual experience rather than theory, and most importantly, genuine presence and attention in a distracted world. And notice what she receives in return: purpose, connection, the feeling of being valued, the joy of continuing to learn and grow through the eyes of younger generations. She's discovered that giving back isn't just good for those who receive, it's profoundly meaningful for the giver as well. This is one of aging's greatest gifts: the opportunity to mentor, to guide, to share, to leave a mark on the world through the impact we have on others. Whether through grandchildren, volunteering, mentoring, or simply being present for those who need wisdom and perspective, our later years can be some of our most meaningful. Ruth reminds us that our stories matter, our experiences have value, and our presence in the lives of younger people, whether family or strangers, can make a difference that ripples forward into future generations. Before we wrap up these beautiful stories, I want to take just a moment to speak directly to you. If these authentic voices and real journeys have moved you, inspired you, or changed how you think about aging, would you please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel? Your support helps us continue sharing these important stories. Stories that counter the negative narratives about aging and remind us of the beauty, wisdom, and possibility that come with growing older. And here's something special: we want to hear your story too. Whether you're a senior with experiences to share, or someone inspired by the elders in your life, please leave a comment below. Share your journey, your challenges, your victories, or simply tell us which story resonated most with you. Together, we're building a community that celebrates aging, honors wisdom, and reminds each other that our best days don't have to be behind us. Thank you for being part of that. Now, let's bring these stories together. As we reflect on these three remarkable stories, certain themes emerge, threads that weave through each unique journey. From Margaret, we learned about embracing change and new beginnings. She showed us that retirement isn't an ending, but an opportunity to discover undiscovered parts of ourselves. She reminded us that it's never too late to try something new, to uncover hidden talents, to begin again. From Harold, we witnessed the power of attitude in the face of real challenges. He taught us that while we can't always control what happens to our bodies, we absolutely can control how we respond. His resilience, his daily choice to focus on possibility rather than limitation, his determination to stay active and engaged, these are lessons we can all carry with us. And from Ruth, we experienced the profound joy of giving back and sharing wisdom. She illuminated how our later years can be some of our most meaningful. As we pass on stories, mentor younger generations, and discover that our experience has incredible value, she reminded us that connection keeps us young, that purpose doesn't retire, and that we all have something precious to offer. These three stories, different as they are, share common ground. They all demonstrate staying curious and open to new experiences, whether it's painting, walking a 5K, or connecting with grandchildren. These seniors haven't stopped learning and growing, maintaining a positive, proactive attitude. They've faced challenges without letting those challenges define them. They've chosen hope over despair, action over resignation, finding purpose and meaning through hobbies, health management, or giving back. Each has found reasons to get up in the morning, things that make life worth living. Embracing authenticity, they're not trying to be young again. They're being fully, authentically themselves at exactly their current age, with all its challenges and gifts. This is what aging gracefully looks like. Not perfection, not the absence of struggle, but rather, the courage to keep going, keep growing, keep finding meaning and joy despite and sometimes because of what life brings. Now, I want to ask you something. As you've listened to these stories, what resonated with you? What part of yourself did you see reflected? What dream have you been putting off? What challenge are you facing that might benefit from a shift in perspective? What wisdom do you have to share? Your story matters too. Your journey, with all its ups and downs, victories and struggles, is worth honoring. You don't have to be extraordinary to make a difference. Margaret, Harold, and Ruth are ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Simply by living intentionally, maintaining hope, and refusing to let age limit their possibilities. So I encourage you, whether you're in your 30s thinking about your future, in your 50s, approaching new stages, in your 70s, living them, or anywhere in between, take inspiration from these stories. Let them remind you that your age is not your limit. Your past doesn't have to determine your future. And it's never, ever too late to write a new chapter. As we come to the close of today's episode, I want to express deep gratitude to Margaret, Harold, and Ruth for sharing their stories so openly and honestly. Their willingness to be vulnerable, to share both challenges and triumphs, is a gift to all of us. These stories remind us that aging gracefully isn't about having perfect health, unlimited resources, or extraordinary circumstances. It's about continuously growing, learning, and loving. It's about facing challenges with courage, embracing change with curiosity, and finding purpose in every season of life. Your story is your strength. The years you've lived, the lessons you've learned, the challenges you've overcome, these aren't burdens. They're badges of honor. They're proof that you're still here, still standing, still growing. Whether you're just beginning your journey into your later years or you're deep into it, remember, every day is an opportunity. An opportunity to try something new, to shift your perspective, to share your wisdom, to connect with others, to choose hope over fear, to write the next page of your story. Age gracefully, not by fighting against time, but by dancing with it. Not by clinging to youth, but by embracing the beauty of exactly who you are right now. Thank you for joining us today. May these stories inspire your own journey. If these real stories of aging gracefully have touched your heart, I have a few requests. First, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're committed to sharing more authentic stories from seniors, more wisdom about aging, and more inspiration for living fully at every stage of life. Your subscription helps these important messages reach people who need them. Second, share this video with someone who might need encouragement, perhaps a parent or grandparent who's struggling with aging, a friend facing health challenges, or anyone who needs to be reminded of the beauty and possibility that come with growing older. And finally, please share your story in the comments below. We want to hear from you. What's your experience with aging? What have you learned? What challenges are you facing? What victories have you celebrated? What wisdom do you want to pass on? By sharing our stories, we create a tapestry of experience that helps everyone feel less alone and more empowered. Your voice matters. Your story matters. This community is richer because you're part of it. Thank you for being here, for listening with an open heart, and for celebrating the journey of aging with us. Keep growing, keep sharing, and keep living your beautiful story. Until next time, remember, aging gracefully is about continuously growing, learning, and loving. Your story is your strength.